101.5 FM, that's Morgan Evans. He was a superstar Sunday night at the Urban Blaze and also in Songwriters Cafe at the Urban Country Music Festival.
Definitely a highlight of mine out there at Blaze. And I've got to tell you quickly, the Wolverines, when they went on, it wasn't them, it was the Round Mountain Girls. They blew up an amp. So there was a little bit of dead air, it was the bass amp, but they sort of soldiered on, did a couple of acoustic songs while I got that sorted out. But Morgan Evans came out, thought, well, I can outdo that. Got about maybe 15, 20 seconds into his first song, boom, lights out, the whole lot, blew thing. The entire
Lucky there was
Blaze
an
out.
on hand.
There was, but we did get up and go, and of course he would come straight back as a professional as he does and says, of course that was part of the gig.
Well, what do you know about Big Mouth?
But you're
Be
one.
Kind.
Oh, okay,
Be
sorry.
Kind. Well, the new album out by the Harmonators is a Big Mouth, and it's getting its official launch at the pub at Tamworth tomorrow. So I thought to find out more about that, we would find out from one of the Harmonators, and Liz joins us on the line now. Hey, Liz, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys going?
Very well. Exciting for the album launch tomorrow night.
Well, it's take two.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really exciting. And I've actually got Ray here with me as well. So we're both here having a listen to you guys.
Oh, cool. Hey, Ray.
Hey, how you going, Darren?
Good, really good. This is take two of the album launch in the pub at Tamworth tomorrow night. That's big news.
Yeah, it's great, actually. It's really good that we're actually both getting a chance to launch in our hometowns, because since the release of our last album, Here and Now, I've become an official Tamworthian. So we're doing the double header. We're saying to everybody, you can come along to both. It'll be double the fun.
That's fantastic. Is that the official term now? Is it a Tamworthian?
I believe so, yes. That's what everybody calls me now, an official Tamworthian.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're an official Tamworthian. Does that mean that you get all the official Tamworthian things? Like, golden guitars and all that?
That would be great. I'm actually going to touch the wood floors now in hoping that that's true.
So this is the second album for you girls, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's very exciting. And this second one's been a long time coming, because our last album, Here and Now, came out in 2008. So we put out a little EP a couple of years ago, but otherwise it's been a long wait for us. So it's really exciting to finally have it in our hot little hands and be able to get on stage and sing the songs.
Has it been a planned, like, being such a long, because it's 4 years in between albums, was it a planned thing that you left it that long, or why did it take 4 years to get a second album out of you guys?
We didn't. I don't think we planned on leaving it that long, but for us independents, recording is not a cheap process.
Oh, it is hard.
And we also wanted to give ourselves time, I guess, to develop our sound a little bit more and to find and write the right songs. And then we had actually discussed going back into the studio in 2010 and doing a full album then. But at the same time as discussing that, we were the opportunity opened up for us to possibly record in Nashville, and when we decided that that's what we would prefer to do and go ahead with, then we had to give ourselves just that little bit extra time to get a few more funds together.
And it is very important when artists do so, we're an independent artist. That means more so that people do have to get out to your live gigs, and they have to be buying that merchandise, because truly that is the next lot of petrol, or it could be the next session, or it could be the next photo, it could be the next lot of album covers, it could be anything that we need, whereas if we're signed to a big label, they sort of take care of that, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, we wanted to make sure that we had the right songs so that we could be really proud of the album, and it was something that we could put out there that we thought our fans or new fans of the Harmonators would love to pick up a copy of and come support us at the live gigs. So, yeah, it's really good. It's really exciting, but it can be tough being an independent. However, there are so many of us around. Country music in Australia is predominantly independent artists, and everyone's really supportive of each other as well. And we had a great support act in Stephanie Jansen at the Sydney launch last weekend, and Sally Ann Witten's coming out to the pub tomorrow night to be our special guest. So everyone's really supportive of each other as well, and I think that's what helps keep us going.
Now, we're a little envious that you're doing the Blue Water Bay Country Music Festival, because we had holidays in Port Stephens last year. What a fabulous part of the world.
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. We're very lucky. We've actually done the festival. I think this will be our 4th or 5th year in a row.
Yeah.
We've pretty much, been doing it pretty much since it kicked off. But we're actually very lucky because we both have family who live in the area. So we actually visit the area on a very regular and frequent basis. I spent 2 weeks there at Christmas, and Liz spent a week there as well. My aunt and uncle live right on Burruby Beach, and Liz's sister and husband live in Anna Bay. So
I want to go back on holidays.
We're really lucky.
I must admit, when I do get on that F3, motorway out of Sydney, heading up to Port Stephens, it's like I roll down the window and breathe in the air and go, oh, that's right, I'm heading. It's almost like a holiday, a home away from home, but it's a holiday at the same time. So it's awesome. So you guys will have to come down.
Oh, look, now we'll have to.
You can.
You've got my arm twisting. I'm sort of.
Look, I'll let you know that I'm actually house sitting at my sister's for that weekend. She's going to be away, so I've got a couple of spare bedrooms.
There you go.
Tracy and the Big D on the road. We're on our way back to Port Stephens for the Queen's Birthday long weekend.
But we only visited that once, and I tell you what, it's just like someone's just laid out the palm of their hand and just spat out 5 little areas that you just flick out to. It's absolutely beautiful. Most beautiful place in Australia that we've actually visited so far.
So where do they hold the festival?
It's held at all the different venues around town.
Okay.
Which is great. So we play at the Sea Breeze, which is one of the pubs. We're doing that on the Friday night. And then down on the marina, right on the waterfront, we do a gig there, right sort of in the centre of the marina, actually, on the Saturday at lunchtime. And if the weather is great, it's a beautiful day. We have so much fun.
Yeah, and it's great. There's so many, cafes and fish and chip shops, ice creameries and things around. So there's heaps of room for the kids to sort of run around and play, and it's just a really nice atmosphere. That's if the rain stay away. And unfortunately, we have been rained out a couple of times there, or had to be moved to another spot. So fingers crossed this year the weather will be on our side.
Let's hope so, because we got all the rain when we were there, but it was still beautiful.
Oh, look, we ended up going up to the lighthouse and had that pumpkin lasagna. Oh, I can taste it already.
There it is.
Yum.
Anyway, so we better get back to the
We're on
thing.
holidays right now.
But there it is. But all these people that we do know, we've got a lot of listeners that do the festival
and
circuits,
they travel around,
and they head off to them. So it's probably one of those ones that are on the radar for our little listeners. So it's very important that we tell them about where the Harmonators are at the Blue Water Bay Country Music Festival.
Now, girls, are we looking at coming up to Queensland shortly?
I hope so. Fingers crossed. Nothing concrete at the moment, but hopefully later in the year we're going to be coming up to see you guys.
It's certainly in the works for us to get out and as much as possible this year, and to get out into different states. So we've got Victoria booked for early August. So we're looking at just a bit after that heading up to Queensland and doing some shows up there.
All right. Time is on the wing as usual with us here. We tend to talk a little bit too much. We're going to be going out with Perfect Storm. Give us a little bit of behind the scenes of Perfect Storm, how that came about.
Perfect Storm was, in fact, the first song written for the album. It was written at my place here in Tamworth early last year. I ran into Matt Scully, and he was doing a gig up here one weekend, and it just so happened that the venue he was playing at was at the venue I was playing in, another venue around the corner. We're both just doing some covers shows, and he had a break at the same time I did, and we sort of just bumped into each other, and I said, hey, are you interested in doing some co-writing? And thankfully he was. So the following weekend he was back in town, so he came up to my place, and we spent an afternoon nubbing this song out. But it's really a song about how it doesn't matter about the ups and downs of a relationship or how stormy a relationship can get, that there are those perfect moments where you would ride the ups and downs for those absolute perfect moments.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to go out with that. We've been talking to Liz and Ray from the Harmonators. You can catch up with them if you're around, if you're a Tamworthian listening in.
Or want to be Tamworthian.
And then, of course, the Blue Water Bay Country Music Festival certainly sounds like my cup of tea at Port Stephens on the long weekend in June. So, girls, great to catch up with you again, and don't leave it too long before you're back here in Queensland, hey?
Will do. Thanks, guys.